In my time of helping guys break free from their sexual vices with escorts or massage parlors, you begin to see tendencies among different groups of people. For example, amongst guys who constantly travel for work, that's a part of their career, or guys who are digital nomads, or people who just don't have to be bound down to a location and a remote worker, there is a very unique and difficult challenge that they have to face, that when they're in different locations, when they're traveling, acting out is a very difficult battle. A lot of guys dread going and traveling because they know that it's just an opportunity for them to go and act out. I've heard it being described as this island of pleasure or this island of escape, because just by being in that location and being away from your home and your old structure and routine, you're just getting these constant temptations because you know that you're in an environment where you can go and act out. And that's a challenge and it's a struggle. I don't want you to have to battle with yourself and constantly dread and fear if you're going to go and act out when your next travel is. So in this video, I'm going to give you 4 things to focus on. You'll probably resonate with 2 or 3 of these very well because it's going to help attack the root of the issue. A lot of guys, they don't have an actual game plan. They don't have any clear structure or routine or system to help them break out of this. And because of that, they're relying on willpower, or they just understand the problem. Like they've gone to therapy, but they don't have step 2, 3, 4, 5 to really break out of this. So in this video, I'll be showing you different ways to attack the root problem so you know where to start, you know what to focus on, just to give you an actual starting place. Let's dive in. Now, one of the best skills to focus on is using self-talk. This is going to be for my first point and my second point. So my first point is using self-talk on escapism. This is key because this type of individual, the guys who I worked with who are consistently traveling, they have a skill of not acknowledging pain, of ignoring pain or discomfort or anything that's going on inside of their lives, just so they can continue to focus on work. Or, they're just so busy. There's just constant things in their life. And, because of that, there's no real time to acknowledge any of that pain because they're caught up in work. They're caught up in that entire environment. And it's hard to really focus on your life just to start with. I think that is one of the reasons why staying clean is difficult, because you only have so much of a pain threshold, right? If you're constantly over your pain threshold and just constant pain, constant discomfort, and you're not creating solutions, your body is going to say, okay, since you're not handling the problem and I'm in pain right now, which hurts, I'm just going to go and act out because I know that will give a temporary fix. Your body is just trying to help you, right? It's not trying to go and do something that it knows is self-destructive just because it can. It's doing it because it feels forced. It feels trapped. It feels like that's the only solution to the pain that's going on inside of your body. So what you should start to focus on is being able to acknowledge pain when you feel it. This is going to be something that blows you away because you're going to realize that you're in a lot more pain than you might think. There's things that might linger. There's conversations, very small and trivial conversations that linger over and make you pissed off or make you angry, that just eat away at that pain threshold. Or there's stress, there's tension, and there's things that you normally wouldn't notice unless you're being intentional about being aware of what is actually happening. And just having that baseline knowledge is usually not enough. Just being able to label what that pain is not going to be the real solution. You got to dig a little bit deeper than that and see why this is affecting you and see if there's any solutions or compromises that you can make. Sometimes you're able to create a solution in that moment for the pain agent. Sometimes you can't. It's more of a long-term thing that you have to plan for and execute on. But either way, you're going to be proactively staying on top of these pain agents, being able to keep it below that pain threshold so you're living a more enjoyable life. And there's no real desire to go and find an escape. When you go and travel again, you will get some urges. You will have opportunities to go and act out. And because you've opened the door for yourself in the past, you'll probably get some temptations. But if you've been managing your pain a lot better, you recognize the pain in the moment, you address the pain, you create solutions when you can, or at least give yourself game plans on how to do it in the future, you're not going to have this real emotional desire to go and escape and do something that you know is self-destructive. So it will be a lot easier. easier. So that's one thing to focus on. Now, the second thing to focus on is also related to self-talk, and that is using self-talk when you get urges. This is a very important skill to learn because it kills multiple birds with one stone. You know, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to stay clean in the moment when you feel tempted. It's going to give you clues as to why you believe acting out is a solution, and be able to destroy those lies and rationalizations that make you think that you should go and do this. And eventually you won't even be able to convince yourself to go and act out, even if you wanted yourself to. And also it's going to over time eliminate the desire and just make this not seem like something that you want to do. It's just no longer attractive, and you'll be repulsed by the idea of acting out. Now, what you should initially focus on in terms of self-talk is really simple. One of the best things you can focus on, especially for beginners, is to focus on the rationalizations that pop up. Focus on the lies, the false narratives that are leading you to believe that this is a solution. And it's going to happen when you get temptations. So think about the last time that you went and acted out. There's probably a moment when you got the urge where there was a part of you that wanted to go and act out, and then there's a part of you that didn't want to go and act out. And what I call that is an internal conflict. There's like this internal war, this tug of war, trying to convince yourself to go and do something. And it's a battle. And both sides are saying things to one another. The side that wants you to go and act out is popping up these lies, these rationalizations. It can be, you know, it's going to get relief from my stress or get relief from my boredom. I'm going to feel better. I'm not getting this at home right now. I need to get my needs met. I'm going to feel like the king. Like, there's a ton of rationalizations that go on, and being able to identify those are important because you can then shoot them down in the future, right? You know these are rationalizations. You know these are lies, especially when you show yourself why they're false to begin with. And when you do that over time, there's just less ammo that's leading you to go and act out. It's harder to convince yourself to go and do it. And it also gives you context clues as to what the deeper beliefs are that's leading you to go and act out, right? There's a lot of rationalizations, but they all point to very subconscious beliefs that have been formed over time. Like, this is going to be a solution to my problem, or this is going to help me get my need met. This is going to make me feel better. There's a lot of these beliefs you can start to identify when you see all these rationalizations. And it just makes it a lot easier to stay clean. So that is one part of it, right? Destroying the lies, destroying the rationalizations, and also being able to identify what that looks like. I would write those down. I would go and write down all your rationalizations and write down why they're not true. Here's an exercise. Write down all your rationalizations, all these lies, point an arrow, and then say, why do I believe in this? Right, so you're kind of understanding why you put faith in that rationalization. It probably won't make too much sense, but just be honest in that exercise. It'll show you a lot of those deeper beliefs. And then just write down, does this belief set serve me or does it destroy me? And then you can try to replace that belief set in the future. So what you've done there is just fleshed everything out. Now, there's another form of self-talk that you can do, which is kind of giving you incentives and reasons to stay clean. It's called emotional self-talk. That is a very good one to pair with, you know, the escapism use of self-talk. But when you do that, it's just trying to remind yourself of why you're trying to stay clean, right? Just make it more of an attractive of an option. A lot of people want to go and act out because they lose sight of what freedom does for them. They just don't have that vision anymore. And you need to remind yourself of why you're choosing this path. So talk about the benefits that you have when you're staying clean. Talk about how your life is going to change, how it's going to affect your family life, your dating life, your career, how it's going to affect your self-esteem, and how your self-esteem is going to help you in other aspects of your life. Like, really go deep on this. Reminding yourself of this in the moment is going to give you hope, it's going to give you motivation, and it's going to help you choose the right path. So that's a very elementary form of self-talk, but these are just good beginning things to focus on. So we have the escapism covered. We have the self-talk covered. The next problem that guys face, and honestly this might be the hardest of all of the problems that are going on, and that is the free time dilemma. Guys who are super ambitious, super successful, constantly traveling around doing stuff, you know, when they're stuck in a hotel room and they're outside of their normal structure and routine of life, they almost don't even know how to react. They're like, fuck, like what do I do? A lot of these guys, the simple pleasures in life won't cut it. It's just hard to go and do something that is the average man would find fulfillment and enjoy, right? And it is a little bit difficult for guys to enjoy this time. And a lot of people have been giving advice. A lot of people that I've worked with, their therapists or people in their life, whatever, they tell them, okay, we have to replace this behavior, right? You're going and acting out. That's a bad escape. Let's replace that with something better. And they don't have any answers to that because there's not going to be a one-to-one replacement from acting out. It's the most pleasurable thing you can constantly do. It gives you a dump of dopamine, a dump of serotonin, a dump dump of oxytocin. Good luck trying to, just take something and do something else with that. It's going to be very hard, if not impossible. So if you're doing the first two things, the first two pillars of self-talk, you're no longer going to see acting out as a solution to your pain or to your problems or to your free time. And now you can start to build something else, right? You can put something else in its place, and you're going to want to do it a little bit more because you see that's the better thing. It's going to serve you a little bit more in your life. And you know that to be true. There's nothing pulling you to go and act out. So doing the first two things I mentioned will help tremendously, but you still have to find things to do in your free time. Can I build something? Is there something that I can do with my skills and expertise that would bring value to other people? Is there any way that I can improve myself that would be fulfilling? Is there any use of my time that I want to enjoy? Is there any things that I can do with creative work? Is there any events that I want to go to? How can I get outside of the hotel? How can I go and do things that I enjoy? These are questions that you should be asking yourself. There's probably hundreds of more that you should be constantly asking yourself until you find answers. And when you do find answers, try it. Just take action. It might be difficult because you might have to learn how to love your free time. Especially if you're a person that's just constantly go, 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 go. You might not know how to act when you actually have that free time, especially when you're alone with your free time. That's the big distinction. A lot of people don't know how to be alone and actually enjoy that time. But man, that's like, you should. That's just showing you that there's a lot of distractions in your life, and it's going to take some time to find that path for yourself. But when you do, it's going to be so fulfilling, and you're going to be glad that you learned the skill. It's just a skill. It's not going to be something that you can maybe one-to-one replace right away. But if you're asking the right questions, if you're taking care of the self-talk and the escapism, you will find alternatives and you will start to enjoy it more and more. I can guarantee that. So that honestly has been a big challenge for some people that I've worked with. The first half of the video has been a challenge for some other people. Another part of this, I guess like pillar 3.5 of this video, is relationships. A lot of these guys who are traveling are in relationships. They're married, they have a family, they have kids, and they might have legitimate relationship problems, or acting out over an extended period of time has gotten in the way of their relationship. There's a lot of lies that are going on. Like, man, if you're in a relationship, I would look out for all of those lies and belief sets that you have that are negative around your relationship. You can find a ton of them, and it's paramount that you start to improve that relationship, especially if you're in one. If you're single, being able to put yourself out there, find quality people in your life, and identify what you want in a woman, and then start to search will be key. Being able to develop this part of your life will be a fun thing that you can see progress in. And when you see progress in, it's going to be, there's no need for acting out anymore because you're so emotionally connected. And you've been robbed from that because you've been acting out and had this problem for some time. I would really start to focus on that aspect of your life and give it a lot more thought and attention that you might have. Again, there's going to be a ton of lies and rationalizations. If you're in a relationship or not even in a relationship, there's going to be stuff around there that's making you think that it's not a solution and you need to continue to go and act out. So I would focus on that as well. Now, these are very, beginning early steps, and information alone is not going to cut it. I fully believe that getting support on this issue and having someone in your corner that understands your problem and has been there is going to be extremely valuable. I think everyone's watching this video this far in understands the importance of mentorship and having people who've done the things that you want to do and getting in contact with those people. It's a very useful thing. It's like a cheat code in life. So I'd highly recommend, going down below and booking a call with myself to take a look at your situation. Just to talk about it a little bit, I'll ask you some questions about what's going on, and we'll create a game plan and a solution based off of your needs and what you need. And, if you want to take me up on getting that, if you're a good fit, and everything works out, then you can get inside of Recovery Blueprint. We'll help you out. We'll get you to freedom. And at the very least, man, you'll get on the call. You'll kind of get some of the weight off your shoulders a little bit by talking about it, and you'll have a little bit more insight on your addiction. You'll have a little bit more insight on some of the problems and things that you need to work on. So either way, man, it's going to be a very valuable use of your time. So with that said, I highly encourage you to go down below, see if we're a good fit, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.